Welcome to the College CEO Podcast, where we teach students how to blow up brands and their businesses. I'm here with Katie Calderon at Club Girl Katie on TikTok and Instagram. Katie, would you take just a few moments to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you go to school, what's your business, your brand, all that good stuff?
What an intro. Damn.
That was off the cuff, too.
That was great.
That was great.
That was great. Okay, so hi, everybody. My name is Katie Calderon. I am a junior at Texas A&M University. I'm majoring in mechanical and manufacturing engineering. And like Jacob said, I'm Club Girl Katie, and I'm also the founder of Club Girl Golf, which is a golf business we make women's golf clubs, pretty much.
Excellent. And Katie humbly chose not to mention that she has over, I think, almost 500,000.
Yeah, I've got about
combined
500,000
socials
yeah.
now. Yeah, I was doing some stalking earlier. So.
Did you?
I saw the 300 on TikTok. I saw 100 on Instagram.
Getting the YouTube up there now.
Whoa!
The Threads.
You're probably over
weirdly
500,000
pops
with
up.
Threads and
Yeah,
YouTube
Threads.
now.
Threads is a
Have
big
you
deal.
have you been using Threads at all?
I use it a little bit here and there. Like I ran an experiment the other day, and I did a poll on Threads, and I did a poll on like my Instagram story, just to see. And like, I just think my followers aren't really on Threads.
It's brand new.
Yeah,
also,
I think we're still getting used to it. And I never use Twitter or like X now. I was never on it.
Yep.
So for me, it's a fully new platform, even though I think it's like the same thing.
It's glorified X in my book, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, literally.
I think it's kind of fun because you could just like put anything out there.
So
it does.
on the building blocks of social media, so did that just kind of happen overnight? Was it like a went viral, now I'm famous type of thing? Was it like I'm gonna get consistent, post twice a day for the next year type of thing? Tell us about the come up on social media.
So my social story is kind of funny. It all really started when like right in the middle of the pandemic.
Okay.
We're all in lockdown.
Like a lot of people blew up during the pandemic.
Yeah,
it was a great time.
It was a great time, and like
media.
it's not necessarily when I blew up, but it was like my intro to it. And I had a friend, and she had posted just kind of a video on a spam account that none of us could see, and it, she then sent a screenshot of it, bragging to all of us, saying like, "Hey, look, I got 5,000 views on a TikTok," and I went, "That is really doable." It sounds like I was like, that kind of seems doable from what I knew about it. I was a scroller. I was not at all like a content creator.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm gonna try it. So I started an account where like no one I knew followed it on purpose. It literally had 0 followers. And I posted a video about, at the time I was a professional long driver. And I just posted a video saying like, yeah, I do the long drive. This is what I do. And just kind of explained who I was, and it got like 150,000 views or something like that.
Really?
Which was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, the first video just took off.
That was the first one? Mm-hmm. Yes, to the audience, Katie also humbly did not mention that she holds the women's pro long drive record.
I don't hold the record. No, I competed for like 2 or 3 years, I think, on the women's pro tour for the long drive, and then I won the U.S. national championship in like 2021.
Wow,
right in the pandemic years.
That's the act that I was looking for. Yeah, but she doesn't hold the records. I just ignore all that.
No, not even close. Not even close. Especially because it was the weird pandemic league, so it was not up and going.
Yeah, the great value league.
Yeah, pretty
much.
much.
Which we'll come back to great value in a few moments, actually. Funny enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, literally, we will.
Yeah.
But not to interrupt you, yes. So you had 150,000 views blow up almost instantaneously, and then...
And then I thought it was really cool. And I was like, wow, I felt great about myself. But I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
I think I might have told my family. But I did not tell, like, my friends. Because I was like, okay, this is cool, and I'm going to let my friend have her moment. But, like, damn, I just did that.
It's very humble of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And then, probably 8 or 9 months later, I was working on a project with like my ex, and we were building. I know
that is kind of funny, actually. Yeah,
that one's pretty funny. So we were building because I wanted something cool for my apartment.
Sure.
And so we tried to make a table out of golf balls.
That's pretty cool.
And so yeah, we'd spray painted a bunch of balls like blue, and then had like got all these range balls from this guy I knew who just had a tub of range balls for some reason.
Does this table still exist today?
Well, here's the thing. So I posted the video of us trying to make it, and we were dumb. And we decided to make it with resin. When, like, I should have just gotten 2 pieces of plexiglass and just done it that way. But we thought we were going to be cool and make it out of resin and see if we could get it to, like, work. And I posted the video about halfway through the resin pouring, and it like blew up. I think it got like 2.6 million views or something.
Whoa.
Like that. Yeah, just absolutely took off. And now all of a sudden I have like 3,000 followers. And
I'm sure you got a bunch of people who were like, you shouldn't use resin on the table.
Well, the thing was more of a budget thing, honestly. The resin totally would have worked, but I was 19 with no money because I worked a part-time job at a golf shop, and it was the pandemic, so we weren't even allowed to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it's half done. It's broken in my parents' it's literally in my parents' yard right now, cracked in half.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it does still exist.
So it still exists, but it's not usable. It was never usable because the resin just became too expensive. But
fair enough.
That was kind of like my intro into TikTok, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then that summer, I had my first internship at a golf company. They were a little golf startup, actually out of A&M.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
Gig 'em, by the way.
Gig 'em. And so they made a like sleeve that would track your swing. And so they were still in the startup phase. So I was working with them, and it was really fun. And I was also doing the pro long drive at the time. And my boss told me, he goes, okay, if you can get 10,000 followers online, we'll pay for you to go to the world championship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because
And you were already at 3,000 at this point.
I was at like 3,500.
And you had a little bit of virality.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, but that was 9 months ago. And I was just posting little tiny videos here and there that were not great. And I've never taken them down. So if you scroll all the way down on my profile, you can see like these really trash videos before I knew how to make content. And so I was like, you know what? Deal. It was July 1st was my date that I needed to have it by. And on June 30th.
Wow.
I hit the 10,000 mark, and I had like a weird spurt, and I was like, "This is cool." So then I, started making videos again, learning a little bit more how to make videos, and then I got into like my beginning engineering classes at A&M, and my professor said to me, she goes, "What do you want to do with your engineering degree?" And like she asked everyone in the room.
Yeah,
that's one of the basic things they do. Well, why do you want to be an engineer? And everyone's going around, oh, I want to work at Tesla. Oh, I want to work for Apple. Oh, I want to work for whoever. And I just said, I just want to build golf clubs, which was like such a weird answer. And
everyone else is like,
yeah,
what?
It took her completely off guard. And I was like, yeah, I just want to make golf clubs. And she goes, I feel like that's something you could just do. And I was like, you're right. I think I should just try this. And so I did, and I ended up like filming the whole thing. I like got the most basic CAD software you could think of, came up with a very basic design just based off what I knew being like a club fitter and working at the golf shop, because this entire time I've worked in golf. And I ended up
golf was your life.
Golf is my life.
Point.
Yeah.
It still is, I guess.
It still
in a way,
is. Yeah, golf has always been my life. But I ended up making this like tiny, doesn't really work 3D printed club, posted online within like hours, blows up.
Wow.
And so from there on, I started like documenting my journey, and then talking a little bit more about equipment and golf clubs, because that's what I knew. That's my background. And from there on out, the account just took off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was. You kind of had some speed bumps along the way, but
For
you
sure.
had some initial virality.
Yeah, and it
took
was
took a little friendly competition, made some money off it apparently.
Exactly,
too,
and I wasn't taking it too seriously in the beginning, but then once I started posting about the clubs, and once I started posting, like once that went viral, and I was always working on that because that was the end goal for me, it just naturally just took off. And
have you noticed? I know I have, but I also don't have nearly as many followers as you do.
Okay.
But is there a massive difference between building a business like the Club Girl Golf Instagram or TikTok versus building the Club Girl Katie Instagram or TikTok? What are some of the big differences there? I mean, obviously it's not as personal, I would guess, to the audience, but I mean, other than that,
I think that's the main thing, is that it's not as personal. Like, you're building a brand and not necessarily sharing your story. And I think I wish I knew the TikToker's name, but I saw a TikTok like 2 weeks ago, and it really hit home for me, and it's the reason why I've been so successful, especially with my business, is that people don't want to follow a brand. They want to follow a person.
Yeah.
They want to follow your journey.
I think I saw this.
Yeah.
Yes, it was the girl talking about it.
Yeah, it's this girl. And it hit, and immediately it clicked why I've been able to do everything I've done, because I don't share it from a point of, check out this thing, and how cool is this thing. You know, I have documented over the last 3 years, everything it's taken for me to build my company
Yeah.
and put every single bit of it out there. And
Absolutely.
now that my patent is secure, all
Congratulations,
of the film,
by
thank
the
you.
way.
Yes, thank you. Now all of the things that I filmed that I've never been able to post like are getting edited and getting ready to post. So you'll have videos of me at like 20, 21, getting stuff ready, and like I'm 23 now. And so I just have all these old archive videos of me trying to do what I'm now doing today. It's kind of cool.
Like that I think that helps a ton, because I see a lot of influencers now hopping on, and they're 8 or 9 figure entrepreneurs, but they're just now getting the hang of social media, and they're having a tougher time connecting with the audience versus the founder or the entrepreneur who started when they had nothing, and then they built themselves all the way to where they are now, like Pineda and Calderon, some of those guys. So as far as the business goes, I did also want to ask, and this is me being a dude here.
Okay.
But to me, women's golf seems like a pretty niche industry. I think I did a Google search, and it was like 75% male, which probably that's 75% old dudes anyways. So
Yeah.
no offense to anyone there. I'm a golfer myself. But what is the women's golf industry like? Is it just kind of a interesting niche, or is it just like any other industry? Or?
Well, that's the thing, Jacob. It's basically non-existent right now. Like
Interesting.
how it works is when you're, I've worked at the companies, I've worked as a fitter, I've done this forever. I've done it for 5 years. And what they do is, for the women's clubs, it's called Trinket and Pinkett. And so each of the main brands has a women's line, but they take their men's most forgiving club, chop it down, and then change the graphics. So they don't actually do any
There's no
real
engineering
to it.
Okay.
Exactly. And women and men, naturally, we have different strengths. We have different flexibility.
Different bone structures, different everything, yeah.
And we have different balance points. Like, have you ever done the experiment in a physics class where they make guys stand a certain way and try and pick up a chair?
Yes, I couldn't do it.
You can't do it, but I can do it. And that has to do with where your center of gravity and where your balance is, and that affects how you play golf. It affects how you play every sport. And so for me, it was really easy to go, okay, well, all of this makes sense to come in and do this, because like you said, you don't know if there's women golfers, but as of this year, there's 6.4 million just in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah. And
see, I did not. I expected a much smaller
No,
number.
6.4 million. Wow. And there's, 40% of all new golfers are women. Whether it's like girls who are juniors getting into it, or like ladies who are a little bit older, or like, young people. A lot of young people are picking up golf right now.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. The sport is growing, but 40% of that growth is women. And so, like,
really, it's really picking up.
It's really picking up, and the sales are there. Women are doing a lot in sales, but they're having to buy from these options, or they're having to buy the men's club super customized. And like, that was kind of my specialty at the golf shop, is I pretty much fit every woman that came in looking for clubs. Yeah. And she was having to spend $100, $200, $400, $800 more on her clubs just to be able to play, because you have to get them customized, because they don't feel right, or you need different shafts, or you need whatever.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to eliminate that. I was like, there's no reason for this, especially there's 6.4 million women golfers out there. Yeah, sure, there's 30 million men, whatever the men's number is, but 6.4 is a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a lot,
market,
and and there's no one there giving them, a club that's going to work for them. So my whole goal was
they're just doing chopped up men's clubs.
Exactly.
Essentially. So.
Yeah, shrink it and pink it.
I've never heard that phrase before, but now
weirdly,
I know.
It's an industry phrase. Like, I had never heard it, and then I was working, at the golf shops and at golf companies, and I just started hearing it, and I realized that's what every single brand does. Like, it's a very recognized
phrase. That's right,
phrase.
because you got the kind of the insider look working at, I don't know if we can say where. But,
let's not say where.
at a golf organization.
Yeah.
Hey, you kind of got the inside look.
Yeah, I think that I have a lot to thank from them, because they really taught me how to be a designer. Because like, I was designing these clubs on TikTok, I was posting them up, and I was trying to do cool things, and I was working on a 3D printer, and I was learning from what I knew. Like, I used to repair clubs and fit clubs.
Right.
And then I would, when I was at the shop after class, I would go and I would measure. Like, I'd bring a little ruler with me, and I'd start measuring all the clubs that we had at work.
Did you have to do that, or did you just want to see what it was like?
I did it so I knew how to design, because I wanted to know what the parameters were that everyone was doing it within. And I was like, okay, like I found like there were different ranges and everyone kind of fell in them. And then I was like, okay, well, I know that a club has to have like 3 degrees of like angle on the face, and I know it has to do, 70 degrees from the shaft. And so I was starting to learn these things just because, I'd bring a little ruler to work and I'd write it down in a notebook.
Yeah. You collect enough numbers, you start to recognize
then
the
you
patterns.
can start to see the patterns and go, okay, I need to design within this range and this range and this range, but I also want to make it look cool or do something cool.
Yeah.
And so from doing all of that, I had built like a working 3D printed putter. And once I got this awesome, internship at this company, I was like, okay, let me see, like, they really just took it to another level. Like the first club I designed with them versus the one I actually got to make was so different that first year. It was like the biggest growth. Like they really did teach me the proper ways to think about and go about designing. It was awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that you did all that research on the back end.
Yeah.
Measuring clubs.
I had one of those little flip
yeah.
notebooks.
Oh yeah.
So I would write is like tiny
like
pages.
A little crime reporter.
Yeah, exactly, like little crime reporter.
Like a journalist. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would literally write the numbers in this little booklet. It's probably somewhere in my apartment.
Did anyone say anything while you were doing that? They're just like, she's just
I
the
would
intern.
only do I was doing that at the golf shop, and I would just do So that for me was while I was like at work.
Like in the clubhouse.
Literally.
Basically. Okay.
At the shop, and
Okay.
so I was like, okay, like. We'd be doing fittings or whatever, and it would be slow. Like Sundays were so slow, and so literally,
I would think Sundays were
in the mornings. Well, because we were only open for like 6 hours on Sundays,
okay.
And so it was really slow in the mornings, and so I would just sit there and just take notes and take numbers, because it was nothing else to do.
And that eventually blossomed into the club specifications that you have now, I would guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I learned that you're supposed to work in the USGA rules. So what I learned from all that was...
we talked about this earlier off the pod,
And so, like, there are the rules of how to design things, but then there are also the rules of golf that your designs have to fall into. So it's like working with a whole separate playbook.
You got 2 different
Pretty much. You have 2 playbooks, because I have to, 1, make something that's, like, manufacturable.
Yeah.
But then 2, I have to make something that, like, actually falls within these rules of golf if people want to play.
And it needs to look good, too, on top of all that,
Exactly. And so it was like, I basically then... learned about the rule book, read the rule book. I pretty much know it like the back of my hand now, and was able to go, okay, well, I know now that it has to be within these parameters and these things. And so, like, I could see the patterns in all the clubs, but then to actually see the ranges, and the ranges were definitely different than what I had seen in the clubs.
Yeah.
So it gave me a little bit more freedom in that way, but a lot of more restrictions in the rules.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got 3 different things
exactly
to go up of there, so I would imagine. So okay. So I was also looking at when I was doing my stalking.
Okay.
By the way, your audience is like so supportive.
They're the best.
They're amazing.
They're so sweet. And if
Like,
I get a hater, they absolutely come after them
They
like
clown
it's
'em.
no one's business. I know.
It's great.
They like they tried to dox somebody once. And I was like, wait, no, like I actually know her. She's a friend. It was a joke. I was like, it was a joke. It was a joke.
Wait,
I'm like, guys, it's okay. Like, this is an inside joke. Like, don't come out. They started typing in her place of work. I was like, no. I had to go through and delete everything. I was like, no, this is a friend.
You got IP addresses
I was like, this is a friend. Yeah. It's like, I know her for real.
Did you text her later and you're like, I'm so sorry?
No, I didn't. Because I hadn't spoken to her in years. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was hella funny.
Now we know that's the most supportive family.
No, they're a great group.
On a lot of other creators, especially college influencers, especially, it's pretty negative.
Yeah,
a lot of the time there's some real haters on there.
I'll tell you what though, I have some haters. Like
the ones that do hate,
the ones that hate, they hate.
They get up extra early to hate and listen a little bit more.
They really go for the throat. You know, like they try and hit you where it hurts. But like I have way more supporters than I do haters, and haters is just like it boosts your videos.
Yeah,
it does.
That's the
it's
best
engagement.
thing. It increases the controversy. Yeah,
it's engagement. Like I remember when I was starting out, I probably had like 150,000 followers, and my grandma used to paint my nails.
Okay.
And so I'd go to my grandma's house like once a week and let her paint my nails because like it was something fun that she would like. She's always wanted to do it, and so like right around the pandemic, I was like, I was bored at home and I wanted to go hang with my grandma, and she wanted to paint my nails, so I was like, okay, let's do it. And but I didn't own clear coat, so like it keeps it from chipping, and so my nails would chip. And so I'd be making videos, and as the week went by, my nails looked worse and worse and worse. Yeah, but I would just wait until next week, and Grandma would redo my nails. And so I was just getting so many hate comments on my nails. Yeah, and I had to make a video of like my grandma painting my nails.
Girls who were hating on
guys.
What?
Yeah, it was
That's
hilarious.
ridiculous.
It was, but like older men, you know, it was like older men, but it was hella funny.
Well, they didn't
like,
know you were 25 and engaged with.
Yeah, exactly. My fake persona.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, so they were like, what is up with your crusty nails? And I was just like, and I would get so many comments about my nails to the point where I posted a video of like my grandma doing my nails, and it accidentally went viral. And then a bunch of people were like, why am I here? Like, why am I watching this girl getting her nails done by a grandma? Because it went so viral because so many people were commenting on it. Oh, now it makes sense that people who weren't in on the joke were like, what is going on here?
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was hella funny. But yeah, like I still get comments on my nails sometimes because I have to reuse footage, and people will be like, what are up with your nails?
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, those who know, and those who don't.
Yeah, at this point, it's part of the brand.
Yeah,
it's
you know what? Sometimes I'm gonna have crusty nails.
The
and
real
that's
ones
okay.
know. Yeah. So building, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
By the way, that's pretty funny. Building your following while in college, does it help or hurt that you're a student? Like, is it more of a constraint because you have less time to go around? Is it like sometimes the consistency, like you're just like, I really don't want to make a video today? Yeah. Or does it help because there's more of a community? Like, what's the insider scoop from being able to build a brand in college?
You know, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons. And so, like, like consistency, it's very hard now that I'm in, like, my upper divs. Mm-hmm. And I'm taking, like, 18 credit hours or 17 credit hours a semester.
Yeah.
And so, like, I had 2 exams today, and I get to record a podcast with you, and I know I won't post a video today. And so, like, sometimes it messes with your metrics, too, because, like, for me, my preferred posting time is 4 o'clock. I have class every day at 4. Like, or I'm in class at 4.
Can you schedule them out?
Not on TikTok. On Instagram, I could.
Okay.
But on Instagram, my metric is different, right? And so
TikTok yet.
Yeah. So TikTok, I can't schedule them out to post, and so I'm like, okay, I'm either posting sneakily in class, or I'm not posting until later, which will screw it up. Or if it's a really busy day, like a day like today, I just will forget to post, or I won't have anything, wheeled up. Like I try and be better about it. I'm trying to be better about it, and so like I have like the weekends now that I don't have Friday classes.
Yeah, you can just grind it out, editing.
Grind out the editing, grind out the filming, and kind of have an idea. But I like the off the cuff stuff. Mm-hmm. Usually that's what goes viral is what you don't plan.
Yeah. It feels less scripted. It feels a little bit more authentic. Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I'm trying to get back to that everyday posting. I was like that for a long time.
So for the students who are listening, who are like, man, I want to do this, but I'm also taking 18 credit hours and I'm swamped with homework and I don't know if I can. What's the secret to being able to build a business, build a brand, and do well in school all at the same, and have a social life? Well, because that's what everyone really wants, is the social life aspect of it.
That's facts. Yeah. So I call it time blocking.
Okay.
It's like my secret to everything.
I've been seeing this popping up on my Instagram with like that Motion app too.
I haven't used the Motion
Sponsor
app.
me.
Yeah, no. So my dad taught it to me when I was a kid, because like I played competitive golf my whole life, and so I need to schedule in practice time, schedule in time to do homework, time to study, all of that. And so what I learned to do, and my Google Calendar looks crazy because of it, is I'll block in certain times for certain things. And so like I know every day I have classes. I know what classes are when. I know I can't get out of those. Yeah. There's no skipping.
You have a Google Calendar or something?
Yeah,
like that
so I put them in my Google Calendar and I block out. Okay, like I have thermodynamics for on like tomorrow. I'll have thermodynamics from 9 to 11.
Okay.
So I already know that I have to do that. I also know that I have my like Texas government class from 2:20 to like 4. Okay, that's blocked in there. Cool. Well, I have a bunch of time in between that I'm on campus.
Right.
So I'm going to schedule out time to go to the gym. So I have like an hour right after my thermodynamics class to go to the gym. Done at 12. Cool.
Nice.
At 12, I'm going to have lunch from 12 to 12:30. Like I have to remind myself. You're a late morning
gym goer?
Yeah.
I'm an evening guy.
I love an evening. Like tonight's an evening for me.
Oh, yeah.
It alternates based on what I have that day.
I'll see you at the rec then, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go to my apartment gym. I'm not trying to deal with the rec today.
Okay, yeah.
But I've got like, right, so that 12 to 12:30 lunch.
Right.
And then from 12:30 to, my 2:30 class, then I have blocked in time for homework and
Right.
studying or whatever. And then when I get home at 4, right, end class at 4, I'm home by 4:35.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Now from 5 to 7, I'm going to do homework. Then at 7, I'm going to make dinner. And now I have the rest of the night to do what I want. And so I'll block in most of that time is usually business or content time. So I'll either go like, okay, like I know tomorrow night from like 8 to 10 is my time to either like work on design stuff or work on social posts for the business. Like that's specifically business time.
Yeah.
But like on Thursdays when I have that same chunk, that's either for R&D or then if I don't have any R&D stuff to do, thankfully it's been like that for a while now. I'll use it as content time.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of really working things into your schedule.
Yeah, I'm a big Google Calendar guy too. So I've started. I didn't know that using Google Calendar was called time blocking because I would.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the name for
it. That's what my dad taught it to me, and I used to do it like that, and then I got Google Calendar, and I was like, oh, Google
that's
Calendar.
great.
Like I used to hand do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the paper calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that the hardest part for me, because the sketching part was easy, it was the discipline part for me was actually because I would schedule
really
everything out. You crank it out on like a Sunday afternoon. You're like, this looks beautiful. I have my whole week set up.
Yeah.
And then like Wednesday rolls around.
And you're not following it anymore.
Don't want to go work out. You just don't want to go build content.
That's where the second part comes in.
Okay, there we go.
I keep a to-do list. And so on Sundays, I go, okay, what do I need to do this week? And I write it all down, and then I prioritize it by each block. So I know if I miss a block, something doesn't get checked off the list that needs to.
Like what are the needle movers? What are the big priorities
and like what
this
needs
week?
to be due by when? And so like the beginning of the to-do list is always homework, right? That's the most important, exams and studying. And I was like, okay, you schedule those into those blocks. And then I'll go, okay, well, business-wise, what do I need to get done this week? Like this week I needed to order the custom head covers for us getting ready for the LPGA tour.
Right.
I've got a couple tests that I need to run on the club, so I've got those scheduled in.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, now that I've got my to-do list, now I make little to-do lists for the blocks.
Yeah.
So it makes, like, you take a big thing that you need to do, and you just chop it up into little things until at the end of the week you're done with the big thing.
Yeah. And then Saturday rolls around, and you're like,
you're free.
I'm good to go. I can do whatever I want now. Yeah,
but I block in the free time. Like I have blocked out Friday nights from 9 to 12. I'm at the Chicken. It's literally in my Google Calendar.
Serious?
It's in my
hilarious,
yeah. If you looked at my phone, it'd be in my Google Calendar. I get a reminder at 8:30. Get ready for the Chicken.
Get ready for the Chicken.
Yeah, get ready for the Chicken. And then on Saturday nights, I have blocked in Harry's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it works.
It works.
Clearly, yeah, it works.
And it's like motivation.
Yeah.
You get your shit done.
No kidding. Yeah. I mean, it clearly works for building so you get content done in there. And
like Saturdays and Sundays, I film a lot. And then I've got those blocked in on Saturdays and Sundays.
So for the student who maybe they are disciplined, but they don't see the value maybe building a brand in college. Like maybe their friend tried it, but it was super cringy.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my, I do not want to be the guy posting selfies like 4 times a week.
I understand that.
Like
yeah.
That. What are the like? How is having a brand? How has that helped? I guess not only with internships and school and whatnot, but also with your business as well. How's that been beneficial? And then what are the drawbacks of that too? I'm curious.
It's mainly benefit.
I would imagine.
It really is.
Yeah.
I understand the drawback being, it's cringe. And when I'm first starting out, like, no one's watching me.
Yeah.
Like, why am I posting this for my friends to see this and make fun of me? Yeah. But, like, I kind of had that same thought process when I first started with the socials. And I, like, posted that first video and was like, hey, like, this is me. This is me doing golf stuff. Yeah, 150,000 views. Not a single person I knew followed it because it was a brand new account.
Yeah.
And then I finally got noticed by my friends when I posted the golf ball table because that went like viral.
Yeah.
And like my friends saw it and all of a sudden it was in a group chat. And I was like, no. Like, I was like, oh my God. But they thought it was cool because I was already... Yeah, I had 3,000 followers on an app with an account where I didn't follow a single person I knew. And they were like, 3,000 people followed you for no reason except you had good content. They thought it was awesome.
Famous now. Yeah, exactly.
They thought it was awesome. So, like, maybe starting fresh is the best thing to do, especially because then, like, you don't have it connected to your personal account at all.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I've noticed talking to other content creators out there is if you start a new account and you don't have that success right away, it's just sticking with it because eventually the algo is gonna click.
It'll click
at some
You'll
point.
find
Like
your
they
people.
want you to keep posting.
They want you to find your people. They want you to find your community, and they want you to post because when you post, they make money.
Yeah.
And when you post, you make money. So it's like it's a win-win. And so like that's the best way to do it. But also like there's so many benefits to it. Like I would not have my company if I didn't have my socials.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because my socials were basically accidentally the formation of my company.
Yeah.
But it also helped me get that internship with that company because they saw my designs and were like, hey, we think you'd be great at this. We love your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, come interview with us. And when I showed up to my interview, I showed up with 30 prototypes.
Whoa.
And I just showed them to them like a little portfolio.
Whoa, you came prepared.
I dumped the plastic from my bag on the table. It's a little Zoom interview. And I had 3D printed all these models and I was walking them through it. And I was like, this was my thought process with the design. And it was,
I bet that sealed the deal. Like,
yeah, it was like that. Yeah. It was a done deal. They loved it.
Did it help with, I'm not sure if they're required to be impartial for this, but did it help with the Aggie Pitch Competition? For those who don't go to A&M, the Aggie Pitch Competition, it's I guess it's more of an entrepreneur competition, but you're basically pitching a product to a panel of judges who are generally also entrepreneurs, and they give out, I think, anywhere from like $1,000 to $10,000
good money. Yeah,
for essentially scholarships or endowments to go actually build the product and make it happen.
Yeah, it was super helpful. So like I started with the Raymond Ideas Challenge.
That's right.
And so I did that one
I'm
first.
trying to do that one with my little brother.
No, you're good.
Now,
So I did that one first, and that was kind of the same competition, but it's just an idea.
Okay.
And so like how I built my business really revolved around these pitch competitions and my followers. And so like I had this idea to build a women's golf club. And I went and I reached out to my following and I said, hey, if you're a woman who golfs, I want to interview you for like a school project. And I was just like sorry to everybody who I said it was a school project.
I mean, it technically was a school project.
It was originally.
It literally was a school project.
It originally was a school project, and it morphed into a business, but I couldn't have done it without them because I posted it, and I had like 800 women or something like that in my DMs.
Oh my
like
gosh.
A crazy amount of girls in my DMs, which was awesome. Love y'all, because they just wanted to do the interview with me. They wanted to answer the questions.
Really? So you had your pick of the litter.
Yeah. So I spent 2 months, every day, 3 or 4 phone calls, talking with all these women. What do you love about golf? What do you hate about golf? What do you love about your clubs? What do you hate about your clubs? Do you have your putter with you? Can you show me? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it? What are your problem areas? And I started to hear the same 3 things over and over and over again. Every single interview, someone said at least one of the 3 things, which was there are so little options. It feels weird, and when I could get them to boil it down, it had a weird feel because of the weight it felt, and then like it felt too heavy or too light, or it looked ugly. That was the 3rd one. They just didn't like the look. They didn't like the look, and I was like, okay, well these are all Shrink It and Pink It problems. All 3 of these things are literally Shrink It and Pink It.
Yeah.
And so I said that was the minute I knew it's time to fix it, and so. In listening to their complaints, I came up with the first design, which was like a putter with like a movable weight slot. And so like I went and I submitted a written application to the Raymond Ideas Challenge with this idea that there would be a movable weight in a putter because they do it in other clubs. They do it in the drivers, but they haven't done it in anything else. So I said, okay, I'm gonna put that in a putter. And I got ready for the Raymond Ideas Challenge. I had my little pitch ready. I was good to go. And the morning of, I stopped at a CVS or like a dollar store or something. And I went and I bought stickers. Because I thought that the best thing I could do was bring a club with me. Because there's, like, when you're pitching and you're doing these things, you need to remember that not everyone in that room is going to golf. And not everyone in that room is going to be an engineer.
Yeah, and you're like the 20th person in there too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I need to do something that makes them understand it. And like my biggest takeaway, I've been pitching for a while now.
Sure.
I've been pitching this business idea for like almost 2 years. And my big thing with it is no matter what, love it or hate it, I want you to understand it properly. And so when I went into that pitch, I bought stickers and I put a big yellow sticker on the bottom. and then I had this big circle sticker, and I would move it while I talked about it in the pitch to explain how the weight moved. And they loved it. I ended up like winning or getting second or something. I got money from that. It was awesome.
I remember, because you posted that. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and so it was super cool. I got a really big check, and I took that money, and I bought a 3D printer so that I could start making clubs at home and modeling at home, and I paid for a provisional patent. And that way I could lock in my idea of a club with like a putter with an adjustable weight system. And then I kind of worked the idea, modeled it a little bit, did a bunch of stuff, used the last bit of the money that I won to get the first metal prototype. And the metal prototype was nowhere close to the one that I have now. Like it was, I think I was on version like 37.
Okay.
For context, I'm on the one that it looks like we're going to manufacture is version 118.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was real proud of version 37. I thought it was great. I was like, this is it.
Version,
I was like, this is the club. And like when I say version, like I had to have made a major change to make a new version. And so like I went
looking at version 1 versus version 118.
So different.
Like, totally different clubs,
they could not be more different. And so like I then once my money had run out, Aggie Pitch was right around the corner. I submitted my written app, submitted a little video, and I explained how it worked.
Yeah.
Again, now that I had more info and I had talked to more people at this point, I had put together what I thought was a great product, got into Aggie Pitch, pitched it with version 37, won it, which was awesome. Then I got a huge chunk of money from that.
I remember, they toss out dough at these.
I think first prize was like $7,500.
And if you're listening to this and you're a student, pretty much every college does some
literally
form
every college
of
has it.
Entrepreneurship or product or innovation competition, and there's like checks that go unclaimed each year from these types of things. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool, and it's such a good opportunity to just see if your idea is good.
Yeah.
Like even if you're not there for the if your idea is not fully formed, you're not sure that you're gonna win money or not. Do it because you can learn if it's a good idea or not.
Exactly. Yeah. Or go network with the judges or with other students who are doing the same thing and they're in a more advanced position. Like it makes whenever I hear people say that, like, I just don't really know if I'd be good at it. It's like, you don't have to be good at it.
No.
You can suck at it, and that's still better than not doing it at all because you still get the connections, the exposure, the experience.
And you get to learn if you're going to, if it's something you want to pursue or not.
Yeah. If you even like doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so I did Aggie Pitch, got a good chunk of change from that, immediately went into prototyping and getting everything ready and getting, I think I worked quite a far ways up with that money. Yeah. And then I ended up winning the Texas Business Hall of Fame Future Legend Award. So that was like double what I won at Aggie Pitch.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that one. Was that outside of A&M, I'm guessing?
That was outside of A&M. So again, a reason to do these competitions. One of the judges ran the Texas Business Hall of Fame, the Scholar and Veteran Awards.
Okay.
And she had been a judge at Aggie Pitch, found me on LinkedIn, hit me up, and was like, hey, this is, I'm from the Texas Business Hall of Fame. Like, I think your idea is great. I think you have an amazing product. I think you have an amazing backstory. Because at this point, I've got around 300,000 followers.
Yeah.
I've built up my brand, and I'm making clubs that are specifically from the people I've talked to. Like it's made for the people in my network, on my socials.
I mean, you interviewed 800 essentially prospective customers.
Exactly.
Basically.
I was like, what do you hate? What can I fix? Like, how can I make this better? And she loved my story. She loved the product. She was like, apply. It was like a 6-month-long process of interviews and things. And I remember.
Wow, that is a beat for a.
Yeah, you had to write these essays. You had to go to a couple interviews with people who were legends. And I remember my final interview. I had just had to have emergency wisdom teeth surgery.
That's funny.
The day before.
Oh no!
So
I had my wisdom teeth taken a few months ago. The day after, I was still loopy. So
I was done. I was done.
Money on the line that day. Yeah.
I was an idiot, and I said I'm not gonna take any of the drugs they prescribed me because I want to be coherent for this interview.
Oh.
So I ended up doing the whole thing without drugs, which was funny.
Yeah.
But I was like a Cabbage Patch Kid. I looked so swollen,
Did they
and I
ask
could
any
barely
questions?
talk. when I hopped on the Zoom, like my eyes are swollen shut and red, and my whole face is swelled up, and I can barely talk, and I'm all bruised. And I was just like, I know I look like I just got into a fight.
You should see the other guy.
And I know I look like a Cabbage Patch Kid, but I just got my wisdom teeth out yesterday. And they were like, why are you doing this interview? And I was like, well, I didn't want to miss it. And they said, you can't reschedule. And they loved it.
I was about to eat that up.
They ate it. Yeah. I mean, and then I showed them the product, and I explained to them all the stuff, and I'm talking like this because I've got gauze in my mouth. And
I remember that.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to get through it. And they loved it. And I ended up, I won that. And I used that money to pay for the full patent and to pay for the rest of my
the legal fees
and all the stuff. And so all of that has gotten me to where I am now with my business, where we're getting ready to launch. We're getting ready to get it on tour. Hopefully in the next couple months, we're going to have, it be tour certified in the next few weeks.
What's the date slate, if anyone's curious?
We're hoping to have it on tour. Estimated date for its tour debut is going to be April 17th.
April 17th. Mark that in your calendar, ladies.
April 17th.
We're going to be bringing it, hopefully, to the LPGA event in the Woodlands. So
I know Anna, my girlfriend's about to buy one.
I know. I love Anna. Anna is my biggest supporter in business.
She's great.
She's the best. She wears that sweater, and I just can't help but laugh because she's like one of the only people that's bought my merch. It's so cute because I don't push it. I just have it.
She wears it everywhere. I hope you know.
I love that.
Like, she wears it all the time. Yeah, like we'll be going to get food or something. She'll have it on.
That is
it's
so
probably
sweet.
number 1 or 2 sweater.
She's the best, for real. I love her. Yeah,
she's fantastic. I mean, I need to get her to build a brand too. Actually,
no, she needs to.
She's blowing up right now with her company.
No, that's what's
she's
up.
Like doing all the social. I don't know if you saw on LinkedIn. She keeps posting all these. She'll basically make edits of this tile because she works for a tile company.
Yeah, I was helping her pick out her name the other day.
Were you actually?
Yes. She's figuring out because I had to tell her, I was like, it doesn't have to have your first name in it. I was like, when people recognize me out in public, they don't go, oh my God, you're Club Girl Katie. I mean, sometimes they do, but I get are you the Club Girl? And I'm like, yeah. And so that's why I was like, you don't need to add your name to it. Like, so you don't.
Does making a specific name, like, or an on-brand name, did that make a and I know you've kind of always had the Club Girl Katie moniker. Does it make a difference? I guess if anyone wants to build a social brand.
I think you have to have like a recognizable, fun, in your niche name. And because like I was originally not Club Girl Katie. When I started this account, I was coaching like local kids golf. I was teaching them how to play golf. And there's this one girl I coached. She was like a freshman in high school. And like to get her to play golf, I would have to do TikTok dances with her in between.
You're
like
kidding.
On holes. No, I
That's
kid you not. Her
hilarious.
mom would pay me to take her out to play golf, and we'd go play 9 holes. And like on a couple holes, I'd have to do TikTok dances or something with her, or make a TikTok film something for her. It was hilarious. And so when I told her, I was like, yeah, I think I want to make a TikTok, like not my personal one. Well, her name was like Homegirl and then her first name. And so she was like, match mine.
Yeah, that's great.
And I was like, okay. And so I made it with her, and I matched
Homegirl
it.
and Club Girl.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Well, no, I was still Homegirl. I was Homegirl.
Oh,
Katie.
you were still Homegirl.
Yeah, because she wanted me to twin with her, and so I was like, okay. So I was Homegirl Katie, and I was Homegirl Katie for a while, like a long time, until like once I started to build clubs and they started to blow up. I was like, someone called me the Club Girl in a comment, and I went, oh, I'm Club Girl Katie. I was like, got it.
Made the decision right.
Yeah, I literally, I was sitting down for breakfast reading my comments, and I turned to my parents and I said, I think I'm going to change my TikTok handle. I was like, what do you think of this? And they were like, yeah, sure. Like, it did not really register, and then it took off even more from there. So I think having that kind of recognizable name, that recognizable like brand, is very important.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially because first impressions are so important on social media. You know, if you can't get that hook,
that hook down, they're not staying for the other 47
they're not
seconds.
Gonna hear it. Yeah.
So I know we're getting close to time here. So the last question I'll ask was for that student who's listening, and maybe they're on the fence about starting their business, or they just maybe they have some self-doubt. Their mom or their friend, or they saw something online that said, hey, don't do it. It's just better to go do something else instead. What would you say to that student who's just on the fence about starting a business?
Try it. I think trying it is the most important thing. Like I wanted to just see if I could beat a friend and made a TikTok and it blew up. I wanted to fix women's golf and fix the problem that I'd had since I was a kid with equipment and fix Shrink It and Pink It, and I have.
Yeah.
And it's insane what can happen from just trying it. Like I joke, but it's not really a joke. I spent $8 of my own money on my business to this day. To this day, I have only ever spent $8 of my own money because I had a good idea and I started pitching it and people loved it. And I was able to win all this money to fund it from all these competitions. And so like that has been the biggest thing. Like I just had to put a little bit in and have a good idea for it to explode. And that's, you just have to try it. Like if you really have a good idea or you think you have an idea and you hear other people go, oh, don't do that, it's cringy. Oh, no, like don't try that.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't, nothing's going to come of it. But if you do, sure, maybe it doesn't work out. A lot of the time it doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. But if it does work out, you just changed your life.
Yeah.
Just because you wanted to try something. But yeah.
So just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Nike.
Yeah, and making that decision led to we need another sponsorship.
Yeah, seriously.
But doing that led to hundreds of customer interviews, led to thousands of dollars in not only brand sponsorships, but also essentially scholarships and endowments.
Yeah, I mean, those have all been straight into my business.
Yeah.
Those have all been grants right into the business.
Networking with people who are other creators and other entrepreneurs.
Yeah. I've gotten to travel.
Yeah.
I've gotten to travel because of it too. It's awesome. Like I get invited to things now and like, it's crazy and I get to go pitch stuff. Like I would never have any of this. Like I walked into a building the other day.
On campus?
On campus, like the student center.
Oh yeah,
right next to the MSC. Big poster of me.
What?
I didn't even know. I walked into this huge poster of me holding a trophy.
For the Aggie Pitch?
Yeah.
No way.
I walked in. I was like, "What in the world is this?" That wouldn't have happened.
That's ridiculous.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Yeah, you got to check it out. It was hella funny.
I'm gonna go back.
It was cracking me up.
Thursday, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll see it then on Thursday.
I'll take a selfie with it. Yeah.
Huge. I was like, "What is this?"
That's incredible.
It was awesome.
Well, Katie, if anyone wants to find you, what are your handles? Where can they find you? What's your website? Where's the best place to go find Club Girl Katie?
I am at Club Girl Katie on literally every platform. Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, starting the YouTube. Okay. Check out the YouTube. I think I've only got like 1,000 subs right now.
Check out the Threads.
Check out the
X
now. Threads is going off. Threads is fun. I'm gonna try and use Threads more. But yeah, pretty much Club Girl Katie on everything. And then if you want my businesses, at Club Girl Golf.
And stay tuned for April 17th.
April 17th for that club date to drop. Any last words for our audience before we tune out here?
Just thanks for listening to me. I hope I was helpful.
First official episode.
Oh, this is fun.
This is great.
I want to do one now. You inspired me, Jacob.
Well,
this is a good time.
I'm just using the resources over here.
Facts.
So, well, thank you for listening. For those who want to blow up their brand and their business, for our students involved who are listening, the answer is just do it. Go start that brand. Stop caring. Start posting like Gary Vee says. Go start that business. Thanks for listening to College CEO, and we will catch you in the next one.